Hi, I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at hotDOCS in downtown Toronto. I'm here with filmmaker Johanna Schwartz. How does it feel to have your film, They Will Have to Kill Us First, screening at hotDOCS?
It's absolutely amazing. We actually only just finished the film about a month ago. We had our world premiere at South by Southwest Festival and had finished about 4 days before then. So it's kind of a whirlwind. We sort of brought it out into the world before we even had a chance to really sit with it ourselves. So when I'm seeing it on the big screen with an audience here at hotDOCS who are amazing and enthusiastic and so into documentaries, which is fantastic, it still feels so new to me, and I'm still kind of seeing things, and I think, oh gosh, did I do that? Okay, it's brand new, but it feels so nice to share it with audiences. We make films so that you can go and sit in a cinema with people and experience it with them, and I think that's the number one way to watch a film.
And what initially got you started on this journey of making this film about the musicians in Mali who have been banned?
Yeah, it's I worked in Africa for a long time, about 15 years on and off for BBC World and other channels around the world, and I was just one of these people who was reading about the story in the newspapers like everybody else. And I had no inside track. I had, very few contacts in Mali. I had a couple just through, my work, but not very many. But it really struck me that to ban music in a place like Mali, which is sort of where music began, it's the birthplace of the blues. It's and therefore rock and roll, and therefore all the musical styles that have come afterwards. To ban music in a place like that was so fundamentally shocking that I just got on a plane and went, and just hit the ground running and started filming and went from there. I contacted an extraordinary journalist called Andy Morgan, who writes a lot about Mali and musicians and has been in that scene for a long time. He agreed to help us, and we just went, and it was quite extraordinary.
And how did you go about finding the musicians that you featured in the film?
I think in documentary filmmaking, things just sort of happen, and you have all these plans, and then something just comes out of the blue and takes you by surprise. So everything is a happy accident, I think, in documentaries, which is what makes it so exciting. And so I had a recommendation from a friend to contact a local producer, a local fixer. Called him up before I left. He said, yeah, I'm free, I'll work with you. Got there, picked me up at the airport. He said, oh, I've made arrangements for tomorrow. We're going to go and see my mother's best friend. She's a singer. I said, that's great, okay. I mean, it was a research trip. I had no idea what was happening.
Yeah.
And that singer turned out to be Hyra Arbi, who was the mother of music in Mali. The grand dame. She speaks all 7 languages of the country. She's beloved. And it was their fixer's mother's best friend. You just think, okay, this is day one. This is going to be a good film. And it was just like that. And you find people on the ground, and people say, oh, how about this person, and how about this person? And it's very, very exciting to start meeting people who have stories to tell, and you can provide them a platform to tell their stories.
And these musicians who aren't allowed to play their music, what do you think, and they're continuing sort of underground to do so, but can you speak a little bit to the strength they have and the courage they have and what they have at risk?
They are extraordinary. They are absolutely extraordinary. It's really interesting. When the ban was first put in place, I think a lot of musicians stopped. They and our characters included, they locked all their instruments away. They fled over the borders. They just didn't feel like it was so shocking. It was such a surprise. I mean, you wake up one morning and music is banned. Your phone will be smashed if it has a musical ringtone. Your instruments are burned. Your tongue is going to be cut out. Like, people just were in shock. And it took a little while for them to start thinking, hang on, we can fight this. And that's the sort of journey that we follow with our characters. When we first find them, they're on the run, they're in exile, they're over the borders, they're not playing music. But by the end of the film, they're all fighting back and playing music, and bringing music back to their hometowns where no music has been played since the music ban. So they are incredibly courageous. Now, they can't earn a living at home at the moment. Even though the ban theoretically has been lifted, there's still tension on the ground, and they're scared. So the only thing that we can really do to help them is buy their records. So to go onto the online platforms or your local record store, and buy a record by Songhoy Blues or Hyra Arby or Tartit and help to support them, because that's the only way they're going to make a living right now.
And where's the best place for us to find out more information on the film online?
Well, we have a website, theywillhavetokillusfirst.com. We're prolific on Facebook and Twitter. We've been here at hotDOCS tattooing everybody with the name of our film, which is really fantastic. And so we've been putting up a wall. It's the who's who of hotDOCS. We did the same thing at South by, and we'll be continuing to do it at all the festivals that we play at. And if anybody wants a tattoo, they can just send us a little message on Facebook. We'll post one out to them. And we just want to build up a critical mass of people who are supporting the musicians of Mali.
Well, thank you so much, and congratulations.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. I'm Katie Uhlmann reporting for Katie Chats at hotDOCS in downtown Toronto.